और थोड़ा बोल्ड होना चाहिए ना।
हाँ, इसको कैसे जो है कौन पढ़ेगा, कौन जो है जिसने लिखा है वही पढ़ेगा।
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are commemorating the 1130th Martyrdom anniversary of Sheikh Kabir Hussein bin Mansoor Hallaj, one of the greatest Sufis of the world and a symbol and icon of truth, virtue and beauty. In this connection, we are fortunate that perhaps in this country of 18 or 20 crores, perhaps we are the only ones who are holding a program which is open and very clear before the world. Maybe there might be some program somewhere in Pakistan or other parts of the world. At least in Pakistan, I'm concerned, there might be in some secret or clandestine places, but we are fortunate that we are holding this program. And we have always been holding such programs since 2004. So, our friends who are here, I welcome them all. And initially, I'll call Qari Muhammad Ibrahim, is a young Qari from Bali, to come and recite verses from the Holy Quran. बेटा भले भाई
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا توبوا إلى الله توبة نصوحا عسى ربكم أن يكفر عنكم سيئاتكم ويدخلكم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار يوم لا يخزي الله النبي والذين آمنوا معه نورهم يسعى بين أيديهم وبأيمانهم يقولون ربنا أتمم لنا نورنا واغفر لنا إنك على كل شيء قدير يا أيها النبي جاهد الكفار والمنافقين واغلظ عليهم ومأواهم جهنم وبئس المصير ضرب الله مثلا للذين كفروا امرأة نوح وامرأة لوط كانتا تحت عبدين من عبادنا صالحين فخانتاهما فلم يغنيا عنهما من الله شيئا وقيل ادخلا النار مع الداخلين الْمُفْسِدِينَ وَضَرَبَ اللَّهُ مَثَلًا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا امْرَأَتَ فِرْعَوْنَ إِذْ قَالَتْ رَبِّ ابْنِ لِي عِندَكَ بَيْتًا فِي الْجَنَّةِ ونجني من فرعون وعمله ونجني من القوم الظالمين ومريم ابنة عمران التي أحصنت فرجها فنفخنا فيه من روحنا وصدقت بكلمات ربها وكتبه وكانت من القانتين صدق الله العظيم.
हाँ बेटा, उसको कुरान शरीफ पढ़ रहा था तो उसने नहीं उठाया. हाँ बताओ बेटा. हाँ डोंट. I request my friend Sufi Zulfikar Kamble Sahab to come and join me on the stage. Sufi Zulfikar Sahab. I'll ask Ms. Rubina Memon to come and join me on the stage. The chief guest of today's program is General Azhar Saab. He has not come as yet. As he will come, he will join us on the podium. And then there is Justice Ghulam Sumro Saab. Is an old friend of mine and is a chairman of Sindh Service Tribunal. He has consented to preside, but he has a problem. That is this, that he sleeps in the afternoon from 3 o'clock to 5:30 or quarter to 6. Nothing change now. Current changes of my body. Hindi mein ya Urdu mein gana. Na aau to aggressive karaye. Na samjhu to sahi. Na ko bas sari Punjab gana. He word your program aside. You're not supposed to interfere in the program. The respectable guests are requested not to interfere in the postings. Anybody who's here, he's at our disposal. This is a world international program. Perhaps you have not played the card. This will go all over the world. Hallaj is not a Sindhi or Pakistani. He's a world figure. This needs to go the world over. I told you among 18 crore people, you are fortunate to sit here. Why are you disturbing that fortune which God has given to you? I'm sorry. Nobody should dictate. A host at least, especially the guest. Anyway, so Hallaj Saab is a great personality. He is a world universal figure, icon of truth and beauty, the leading personality who gave his life on the gibbet for love and truth and beauty and virtue. Anal Haq was a slogan. Anal Haq was on his lips. He says he is the truth. He says he is the Haq. He is the nomenclature and the symbol of Haq. And Haq Hallaj, now there's no difference between them because they have come so near to each other that Haqq is reflecting in the personality and the figure of Hussein bin Mansoor Hallaj. Such people are not born every day. These people are an asset to the human society, world society. Perhaps I will say that they are selected people. They are people who are selected. They are not elected. They are selected. Selected by whom? Selected by none less than Allah Almighty Himself, Al-Rahman. Because who can dare to say Anal Haq and survive for 65, 66 years without any mental anguish? That was only Hallaj, who went in prison for 8 long years. He remained in prison in a concentration camp rather, and there was no airy passage inside. He remained there. Before that, he was exiled, he was hounded, he was whipped, he was stoned at so many places, but he never abused anybody. He never condemned anybody. He always prayed and loved human beings. He even loved his tormentors. He loved his tormentors. And this is very strange that the Muslim society of the East or the West has forgotten him. In fact, I won't say that Hallaj was only a Muslim or a Hindu or a Christian. Hallaj was a great man in his own work. You need not categorize him into some religious circuits. But since he belonged to the fold of Islam and he was a Muslim scholar and a philosopher and a fiqh, the Muslim world has not given him that recognition which needs to be given. Although so many poets like Latif and Sindhi, Latif was not an Arabic scholar, but he wrote poetry about Hallaj. Latif was not a fiqh, he was a poet par excellence, he was not an Arabic scholar. Ghazali was an Arabic scholar, Rumi was an Arabic scholar, Hijwari was an Arabic scholar, Khwaja Gharib Nawaz was a scholar, Arabic scholar. They wrote. Those people who are not scholars in Arabic, who perhaps might not have read his poetry to the full at that time, they rendered beautiful verses. Latif, Sachal was a fiqh, he knew Arabic. Then we got Khwaja Ghulam Farid, then we got Hijwari, we got Rumi, we got Shah Hussain, we got Bedel, we got Bekas. Name anybody. We got Mir Taqi Mir, the best poet. We got Ghalib, we got Khwaja Mir Dard, we got Amir Khusru, we got Bali Dakhni. Name everybody and everyone. When you go to the Turkish world, we got Nasimi, who was a Turk. He was flogged. His skin was taken out and he had to die on the love of Allah. There were thousands of people who were hanged, who were lashed, who destroyed their families for him, for his love. What was that? Sometimes it is Hussein Hashmi from Karbala, from the Prophet's family. Then again, then there's Hussein Mansoor, same name. Then this Hussein keeps on resounding. Hussein, beauty, love keeps on resounding. At this historic time, when I'm making my speech, Hallaj Sahab is on the gibbet. Hallaj Sahab is on the Suli, mind it. This is a very historic occasion and this is a spiritual occasion. I tell you, all those people who are attending here, if they don't have malified feelings against Hallaj, they will go to paradise, inshallah. For them paradise is written. But those who have got malified feelings, they might even go if God has mercy on them. But for them paradise is for whom? Paradise is for friends of Allah. And who can remember more the friends of Allah than Hallaj? And if Hallaj is a friend of Allah and a wali, if you are attending his day, you are remembering him on the time when he is on the gibbet, when he is teaching people what is Sufism. Fatma Ali Shahpuri asked him there, on the gibbet, the Hallaj, Mansoor, tell me, what is Sufism? What is Sufism? He said, Sufism, this is the beginning of Sufism. And he said, you'll see tomorrow, you'll see day after tomorrow. He was in the gibbet for 3 days. His hands were cut, his legs were cut, his eyes were gouged, his tongue was cut, his head was beheaded, his body was burned. Then he was put on a Ras al-Khema. All his ashes were thrown in the sea. But Analak's voice was coming from that also. There was a revolutionary upsurge, and that corrupt Prime Minister Ahmed, after 2 months he was burned, he was cut, he was beheaded. Because it was he who had ordered for punishment of Abul Abbas, who 15 days before he gave his life, because he testified in the court in favor of Hallaj and against Hamid. He said, Hamid, you are a corrupt prime minister. Hamid, you are an agent of the Khalifa Abbasi. You are an agent. I hate you. And you have no right to try on Hallaj. He said, but Hallaj is saying that God is within him. Hallaj is saying that I'm such and such. He says he's a wali. Whatever he says, you have no right to accost him. You won't understand him. You see? So that man was, you see, lashed, and he asked his servants to thrash him with shoe on his head, and Abu Abbas died. So Abu Abbas abused this Hamid, and he said, oh God, punish him. So Hamid was punished after 2 months, not because of Hallaj, because Hallaj also blessed him, everybody, but because of Abu Abbas. Abu Abbas had 21 sons. I must tell you history today. All of his sons died, all of his sons. And his one son, when he was being killed, Abu Abbas said, okay, let you be killed. Then son said, Father, you are a very bad person. All your sons have been killed. You want me to see killed? Abu Abbas said, okay, why not you be killed? It's a raza of Allah. If Allah wants to kill you, who am I to pray that you should survive? So his whole family was massacred, but he was a disciple of Allah. Shubli was also a disciple of Allah, but Shubli at that time threw plots on Allah. So Hallaj cried. He was pained. You know why? Hallaj said Shubli knows the secret. Why is he throwing plots at me? He's a co-sharer of my secrets. He shouldn't have done that once he knew things. But perhaps Shubli might have been stunned because of the retribution was so deep and immense that even people like Shubli remained silent. How can you understand a man being flogged 1,000 stripes and he is saying, Ahad, 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 Wahad, Ahad, Wahad, Ahad, God is alone. Then he was stoned, but he was smiling and he was explaining to people what is love. So I feel that in the whole world, I don't see any parallel, any example of such a love and gratitude to the greatness of Allah, which Hallaj went through. Although Imam Hussein also went through great trial and tribulation with his family. But both were unparalleled. I won't try to distinguish any of them. I think this is a chain, right from Socrates, Gautam Buddha, Zarathustra, all these people, you see. When you look at Yusuf alayhi salam, he was a great figure, you see. When you look at Ayub, his patience, Sabr Ayubi, when you look all of them, one by one. And when you look here in our own country, we've got people like Inayat Sufi Shaheed, the great Sufi of Jog Sharif, who gave his life for the common peasantry. He also, you see, welcomed his death, and he told that his detractor Azam Khan, but Afan, the governor of Thaka, he told him, I know that the sword, you see, with whom I'm being killed, with this welcoming me. And God is, he is there. So I don't mind my death. I know that I have to die. But he was prepared for it. You look at Sarbat Sufi, he also accepted Kiste as death the same way. And then you look at Hussein Shah Fakir, Madhulal, you look at all of them. You see, all of them, the Sufis, right from Junaid Baghdadi, Abu Hamza, and Zoran Misri, and then Hijweri, and Rumi, and what not. And this, you see, starts not after the era of the Prophet, but even at that time. Hazrat Awais Karni was a disciple of the Prophet. He had never seen our Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, but when he heard that on earth his jaws have been taken down and his teeth have been broken, so Hazrat Awais Karni, he took out all of his, you see, this jaw and everything, his teeth. And I tell you that I have gone through Kashif al-Wajub. I don't know to what extent that's authenticated, but it is there. Perhaps that there's no such authority, I will say, but I'm not going to doubt the veracity of Hazrat Hijweri. He says that Prophet Muhammad asked Hazrat Umar and Hazrat Ali to go to Yemen and meet Hijweri, this Awais, and tell them that Prophet has given his blessings to him and seek blessings from Awais Karni. He told Hazrat Ali and he told Hazrat Umar direction to go and seek blessings from Awais Karni because he's a friend of Allah. So they went over there. They were told that there's some Majzoom or Majnoon, people are calling him. He's busy with his camels and he won't come. So he came. So he said that I cannot come to the Prophet because I am caring for my camels, and then I've got a mother who's sick. I always care for my mother. So I tell the Prophet, our Prophet, Salam, but I'm in league with him already. So I bless the Ummah. So the Prophet said that his blessings are like that hairs of the lamb. Hairs of the lamb. So that was the blessing. So this Hijweri Sahib is written. So people like Awais Karni. And before that, the Neo-Roman area, They were Roman philosophers and Greek philosophers. Look at Socrates when he was being punished by a jury of 460 people. Same is the case. There are 460 people. They took him, judged him as a traitor or as enemy of the society. So he was asked that in the jail that there's a horse which can take him around. He said, no, I won't leave the horse. I must go through that poison glass because I'm a person of history. What history will say about me? That Socrates ran away before death? No, I welcome death. And here I recollect Hazrat Ali's call. Hazrat Ali has said that a brave man is that whom death is afraid of. Death is afraid of? Death is afraid of that man. So this is Ali's quotation. So Hazrat Ali was a great man who was never afraid of death. So you have to take out the fear of death from yourself so as to achieve the taqwa and achieve the stage of self-righteousness. With me, there's a problem. I am a disciple of Hallaj, undoubtedly. I love him from the core of my heart, but I am not a courageous person. I may be a morally courageous person. I may say the truth, wrong or right before everybody. I don't care. If a president is sitting, a prime minister is sitting, I don't care. Neither I can be bought or corrupt. But I'm afraid of stoning, death, firing. I'm afraid if I'm caught in even in a lift, I'm afraid I get out of it. So physically, I have got these problems. And at times I feel that what sort of disciple I am of Hallaj.